Her stepmother had taken her in but treated her as little more than a servant. She spoke of her love for weaving and how she often dreamed of one day selling her own fabrics in the market. Emeka listened intently, nodding and asking thoughtful questions. "You're incredibly resilient, Amina," he said after a while. "Most people in your position would have given up on their dreams, but you haven't." Her cheeks flushed at the compliment. "Thank you, my prince. But I don't feel resilient. I just keep going because I have no other choice." "That's exactly what makes you strong," he said, his gaze steady. "And it's why I believe you deserve more than the life you've been given." Amina's heart swelled with gratitude and a glimmer of hope. For the first time, she felt seen and valued for who she truly was. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, Emeka rose to his feet. "Thank you for sharing your story with me, Amina. This isn't the end, it's just the beginning. I have plans for you, but for now, let me escort you home." They walked back to the village together, the prince's presence drawing astonished stares from everyone they passed. When they reached her compound, he paused and turned to her. "I'll be back soon," he said. "Take care of yourself, Amina." As he walked away, Amina stood at the gate, her heart filled with a mixture of joy and uncertainty. Whatever lay ahead, she knew her life was about to change in ways she could never have imagined. The news of Amina's visit to the palace spread like wildfire through Ikede. Every corner of the village buzzed with speculation. Some admired her for her sudden rise to prominence, while others, like Bola and Chinyere, burned with jealousy. Madame Ngozi's wrath was uncontainable. "How dare you bring such attention to this household?" she spat at Amina. "Do you think you're better than my daughters now?" Amina kept her head low, enduring the scolding in silence. Deep down, she held on to the memory of Prince Emeka's kind words. They were a shield against her stepmother's anger. The next day, a messenger from the palace arrived with an invitation for Amina to attend a royal feast. It was to be a grand event with nobles from across the kingdom. Madame Ngozi tried to argue, insisting that Amina wasn't fit for such an occasion, but the messenger's firm stance left no room for debate. With no fine clothes to wear, Amina worked tirelessly to weave a simple yet elegant fabric for herself. Her fingers moved deftly, pouring her hopes and dreams into every thread. By the time the feast approached, she had crafted a modest yet stunning outfit that reflected her resilience and creativity. At the feast, Amina felt out of place among the glittering gowns and elaborate jewelry of the nobles. But Prince Emeka's reassuring smile eased her nerves. He introduced her to the guests, speaking highly of her strength and character. For the first time, Amina felt like she belonged. But not everyone welcomed her warmly. Among the nobles was Lady Ugochi, a wealthy and influential woman who had long hoped to secure her daughter's marriage to the prince. She regarded Amina with disdain, determined to undermine her. During the feast, Lady Ugochi approached Amina with a saccharine smile. "You must feel so out of place here, dear. After all, this isn't your world." Amina met her gaze calmly. "You're right. But I believe people can rise above where they come from." Lady Ugochi's smile faltered, and she walked away, defeated. Prince Emeka, who had overheard the exchange, was impressed by Amina's composure. As the evening progressed, Emeka stood to address the gathering. "In my search for a future queen, I have met many women. But one stands out, not because of her wealth or status, but because of her heart, strength, and authenticity." The room fell silent as he turned to Amina. "Amina, will you join me as my partner, not just in the palace, but in life?" Gasps echoed through the hall. Amina's hands trembled as she rose to her feet. "Yes, my prince. I will." The hall erupted in applause, though not all claps were genuine. Lady Ugochi and others glowered, but Amina didn't care. She had overcome countless trials to reach this moment. Back in Ikede, the villagers celebrated Amina's engagement. Even Madame Ngozi, though begrudgingly, acknowledged her triumph. Bola and Chinyere avoided her, unable to hide their envy. As Amina stood on the palace balcony, looking out at her new home, she felt a deep sense of gratitude. Her journey had been filled with challenges, but she had emerged stronger. With Prince Emeka by her side, she was ready to embrace the future and the adventures it held. The days leading up to Amina and Prince Emeka's wedding were filled with preparation and excitement. Villagers and nobles alike marveled at how a humble girl from Ikede had won the heart of the kingdom's prince. Amina, once overlooked and mistreated, now found herself at the center of a grand celebration. Madame Ngozi, though reluctant to admit it, began to treat Amina with more respect. Bola and Chinyere, however, sulked in the shadows, their jealousy preventing them from joining the festivities. Amina, ever kind, invited them to participate, hoping to bridge the rift. "This is a happy time for all of us," she told them gently. "Let us move forward together." The wedding day arrived, and the palace shone brightly with decorations of gold and green. Amina, dressed in a gown she had designed herself, walked down the aisle with her head held high. Her steps were steady, her heart full of joy. Prince Emeka waited for her at the altar, his gaze filled with pride and love. As they exchanged vows, the hall erupted in cheers. The villagers of Ikede, seated among the nobles, celebrated as though one of their own had risen to the stars. Amina's story had become a source of inspiration for all. After the ceremony, Prince Emeka addressed the crowd. "Amina has taught me the value of humility, resilience, and love. Together, we will rule not with power, but with compassion and understanding." Amina's journey from the stream to the palace had been long and challenging, but it was also deeply rewarding. Moral lesson. This story teaches us that kindness, humility, and resilience can lead to great rewards. No matter how difficult life may seem, staying true to oneself and persevering through challenges can open doors to unimaginable opportunities. Amina's journey reminds us that true worth lies in character, not status or wealth.